Coming to you live from the White Picket Studios in Houston, Texas. This is the Realty Ruckus. If you are in any way, shape, or form involved in the real estate industry, this is the show for you. And now, your host, Alan Hernandez.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Realty Ruckus out of the White Picket Realty Studios. I am your host, Alan Hernandez. Sitting next to me, Gibran Hernandez, David Bonilla, and our in-house attorney, Ashley Patten. What's up, you guys? It's awesome to be here. We have a great show planned out for you today. Everything about helping your real estate business grow, helping you overcome all of the things that you run into, those dead ends, those brick walls. And we have a great show planned out for you guys today. I can't wait to share everything with you. But before we get started, I want to tell you guys all about our weekend getaway as a brokerage, as a company, out to Vegas. Now, here's the thing.
This may be the last episode
Here's
tonight.
the thing. This may be the last episode because my wife listens to the show, right? So the thing is, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. But I got to tell you guys, we had such a good time. Now, I promised myself I wasn't going to go to Vegas a few years back because every time I go there, it's nothing but getting fat, eating, drinking. I mean, there's nothing healthy that happens in Vegas. But this time I went and we got fat, we ate and we drank, and it was such a good time. I realized I've just kind of been missing out on hanging out.
Now, how many of y'all going?
So this round, it was 9 of us total.
Okay.
So what we did is in January we said, okay, look, if we can achieve these goals, the company's buying everyone a ticket to Vegas, right? And we didn't know if everyone was going to take us seriously on this, but everyone did, and they pushed so hard that we actually achieved the goals. So obviously we had to buy the tickets, and we got a chance to leave. We left Sunday morning, came back Tuesday at night. So we got here right around like midnight.
Oh, you already left. I thought you were going this weekend.
No. Like, we just left. We just got back.
Oh, you just got back. Okay.
We're still going through the recovery process.
They just recovered.
Oh.
We're still going through the recovery process of going to Vegas.
Gotcha. I thought you were going this weekend.
I'm like taking some extra vitamin C and some just trying to recover from it. It's crazy because when you're there, you don't really get a chance to sleep much.
No.
I mean, and you don't really want to sleep much because there's so many things to do. There's so many things going on that you want to take advantage of it as much as possible.
Where'd y'all stay?
So we stayed at the Bally's.
Okay.
This is the first time staying there, and it was funny because we were telling people on the plane right there that we were going to stay there, and some people were like, "Oh, the Bally's, man, it's actually a pretty decent hotel."
And people were ragging on it.
Yeah, I had some people ragging on it. I was like, "Why are you ragging on it?" So initially, this is my first time staying there. I thought we were going to be like in a Motel 6 type scenario, with roaches. Or something.
I would hope that you would think better. I booked that place.
I know you did.
Well, it's old.
It had like
it's old.
It's just been remodeled.
It just got remodeled.
Yeah, it's just been recently
I
remodeled.
was gonna say it looked a little older when I was in Vegas.
Yeah. It's still Bally's. I mean, it's just like it's not one of the new ones. It's not Aria.
It's not like the
Okay,
coolest one.
Yeah,
Right,
you're talking about
It's
that.
not like the
Yes,
coolest
I agree
one.
with that.
But here's the thing: we spent approximately at the hotel. We spent approximately maybe 3 hours each day. Just sleeping and then
Quick nap.
Take a quick nap and then get on out and have some.
So y'all
more
didn't
fun.
gamble at Bally's?
We didn't gamble. So I didn't gamble. I don't know if you guys gambled. Did you guys do some gambling?
No, only Adrian picked up a gambling addiction while he was there.
Yeah, our designer decided that he was going to go full out gambling mode. And
He doesn't gamble, by the way. This was like
first time.
Yeah, he was a first timer there.
How'd he do?
Oh, he lost his ass, but it was hilarious because he won a little at first, and then later on he was like,
That always gives you the edge.
I got to go back and make some more money, man. I got to go make some more money."
That's when you lose a gamble. When you try to get back the money that you spent, you're going to lose every dime you ever
You're
had.
chasing. You're
right.
chasing at that point.
Yep.
You're chasing a dream at that point.
But it was great, man. I mean, we went to the buffet. We had a great time there. We did this new thing that's there. It's called the
High Roller.
The High Roller. Yeah.
It's the world's biggest Ferris wheel.
Okay, this thing is pretty amazing.
Where's that over? Is that a Stratosphere?
It's right across the street from Bally's.
Okay.
It's at the Link.
That's a hotel
really?
called the Link. And they built it's an awesome little setup with a bunch of bars and restaurants. And at the beginning of it, there's this thing, the High Roller, and you pay $30 to $50, and you get a chance to go in there and for 30 minutes while it makes one circle all the way around, you get to drink as much as you can.
No way.
Yeah, as much as you can.
And how long
Now,
does it take to get a
each
circle?
one of these, it's 30 minutes. Each one of these spheres that you walk into fits approximately 40 people.
No way.
Yeah, and we get inside of the thing, and the 67-year-old bartender who has won some championships around the world for being like one of the greatest bartenders goes.
He was one of those flair bartenders.
Yeah.
The ones that does like
Really?
tricks. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, all right, everyone tells us not to give you guys too much drinks, but for us this time, who wants to get drunk? And we were like, oh boy. And he just starts serving liquor left and right, man. But
And everything that happened after that is a part that has to get left in Vegas. Sorry,
Yeah,
guys.
everything-
We're gonna jump to commercial break and never give you the story. So when we get back, you will not hear about Vegas. I can promise you that.
exactly, we're gonna have an actual show about real estate
Everything
here.
top secret. Everything top secret.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hey everyone, this is David over at White Picket Realty, and I wanted to tell you about my friends over at Plans Express who can save you the headache of running your own permits. These guys are committed to offering a one-stop solution for all your plan and permit needs. They're proudly serving their friends and neighbors in the Houston surrounding areas, and they offer great service at an exceptional value. With dedicated professionals ready to serve, contact them today at 832-675-6217.
Hey Houston, this is Alan Hernandez, and I want to remind you guys to visit our friends over at Quest IRA to learn everything there is to learn about investing with your IRA. Now, if you haven't been over there recently, you have to check them out. They have free educational classes, networking opportunities, the ability to tap into $1 billion for your real estate investing deals. These are the guys to know when it comes to learning about this kind of stuff. You want to make sure you visit them and check them out over at www.questira.com. Again, that's questira.com.
Stop searching and start staying in the know with our Houston Real Estate Events page on Facebook. Follow us by searching at Houston Real Estate Events to stay up to date on the latest events for real estate in the Houston area. If you are interested in having your event on our page, please email me at david@whitepicketrealty.com. Again, that's david@whitepicketrealty.com. Non-paid events only. One more time, find us on Facebook at Houston Real Estate Events, and we'll see y'all at the next one.
What do you love about White Picket?
I love that we work together as a team.
I love being professional while having fun.
I love the innovative approach we take every day.
I love the support we get to grow our business.
We love White Picket.
And I love empowering the next generation of realtors to live life by their own design. If you're looking to grow, come grow with us. Email join@teamwpr.com. Again, that's join@teamwpr.com.
And we are back on Realty Ruckus. Remember that you can live tweet us at Realty Ruckus. You can also find us live on Facebook and YouTube, where if you chat with us live during the show, we can answer your questions live on the air. Now, it's been, from what I understand, a pretty nice week here in Houston. What's the weather look like for us this weekend, David?
Well, it's going to continue to be pretty nice with highs in the low 80s throughout the rest of the week and the weekend, and lows in the mid to upper 50s. So it's going to be a really nice weekend.
Yes.
And it's going to be a little partly cloudy on Sunday, but that's really it. So enjoy the weekend, everybody.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So we want to go ahead and get this show started by talking about a little something that a lot of people have a hard time doing. And what I'm talking about, and let me know if you guys agree with this or not, what I'm talking about is taking action. And what I'm referring to is when you're starting your business, when you're even going in your business and you have an idea, or you have you know you have a task to do that's going to help propel you to the next level,
Right.
And you keep stalling, you keep procrastinating. Who isn't a procrastinator? I mean, the reality is everyone procrastinates.
I'm going to change tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. You know.
Yeah, I'll start procrastinating tomorrow.
Right. Right. Like, hey.
So
Tomorrow always sounds like a great day to do things.
So you know what we're talking about is some of the things that that show up when you don't take action, and how to actually keep pushing forward, because without any action there's no progress.
Right.
And so I wanted to just kind of bring this up and bring up this topic, and we have just a few minutes to talk about some of the things that we need to be doing as business owners, as leaders in our organizations, as leaders in our own team, and realtors, loan officers, and investors out there. We're not leaving you guys out, because the truth is, when you're out there running your business, you are the leader of your organization. Right?
Yeah,
if you're the one-man show that's picking up the phone, that's meeting with the seller or buyer, and that's going to the closing table, you are the leader of that organization. And there's no doubt about it, something that you have procrastinated on, something that's kept you back, something that you've not taken action on that could have definitely changed your business for the better this year or any time, really. So one of the things that we always want to talk about is keeping your cool. And why is that important? Why is it important to keep your cool, David? What do you think about that?
Well, I think, obviously life and being an entrepreneur in general, when you're going to get all sorts of different things thrown at you. You really never know what's going to happen. For an agent, you could have 3 deals fall apart in one day.
Yeah.
But if you start losing your shit, basically, then you start bringing this negativity into your life. I was watching this video on Inman, and this guy basically says, if you stay cool and you stay optimistic, you're going to attract that positive energy to you. And if you continue to make things happen, then the good things are going to happen for you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of crazy, because when I first got into the business, one of my best friends, Mike Vasquez. You remember Mike?
I remember Mike Vasquez, yeah.
One of my best friends in the business, Mike Vasquez, he and I used to sit right next to each other. And, we were young. We were maybe, 22 or something. And we would sit there and compete with each other and have a blast doing it. Doing it. And you're right. There was those months where, we would have 6-7 transactions ready to close, and half of them would just completely drop. And it'd be like, oh man, and you get into that scenario where you start kind of hating life, and all of a sudden it's not just 3 that fall apart. Now it's 4 and 5 that fall apart, and everything just kind of starts rolling.
Yeah, exactly. Because one thing happened, now you stop moving. You get kind of discouraged to keep making moves.
Yeah,
and when it's frustration, when you're dealing with frustration anytime, it's really easy to stop everything to try to deal with that one situation.
Yeah.
And then the things that are moving for you stop moving because you're putting everything into this other situation, and you start creating all these little fires, and those little grass fires eventually they become a big massive wildfire.
Yeah. And
you find yourself in the middle of a dog pile, and it sucks.
Yeah, absolutely. And which kind of leads us to our next tip, and it's staying optimistic. But how difficult is that when you're going through some crap? And when is there a month in real estate where some crap doesn't happen?
Yeah.
And that's the thing. This is a business where it happens sometimes.
Right.
Ish hits the fan.
And I would say the best way to stay optimistic about those kinds of situations is to stop saying that ish hits the fan.
But
it's just part of your job.
Yeah.
It's not ish hitting the fan. That's just part of being a realist. I mean, that would be like Ashley getting upset each time something wasn't good on title.
Right.
You're a title company.
You take the bad, you make it good. It's called the laws of attraction. It's secret. Basically, you give to the universe what you want to get in return.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You keep positive things will happen to you.
Yeah.
Maybe not today, maybe tomorrow, but eventually, if you're around, it's law of 5. If you take your 5 best friends and you put yourself 5 years down the road, you will make about the same amount of money. So if you hang out with deadbeats, you will become a deadbeat. If you hang out with somebody who's positive, you will actually bathe in their glory.
Yeah, you will.
It's amazing to me.
Yeah, that's
give me a little baby.
100.
Amen.
You want to go bathe together?
How this works?
It's just amazing.
I didn't know that.
You always hear about people who are successful running together.
Yeah.
The reason why is they surround themselves with positive people.
Yep.
Because everybody knows the naysayer. I can't do anything wrong. I can't do anything right, rather, and all this stuff right there. At the end of the day, those people are cancer.
Yeah.
Exactly. Get rid of them out of your life and move forward.
To go to a very extreme example, because I always hear people say, well, no, that's not true. I can have whatever friends I want, and I can still be whoever I want to be. And I say, okay, go out there and look at any drug addict. Mm-hmm. Who are all his friends going to be? Other drug addicts. Look at any alcoholic. Who are all his friends going to be? Other alcoholics.
Right.
People that are addicted to gambling. They're going to know other people that are addicted to gambling.
Yeah.
You find people that have the same interests as you do. And if you're very negative, you're going to find yourself surrounded by a bunch of other negative people. and you're gonna enjoy having those annoying negative conversations.
Yeah,
they reinforce what you're feeling,
and you just reinforce that negativity that you're feeling, and you never move anywhere positive. You're always stuck in that. That's 1,000% true what you said.
You find the one deadbeat who's worse than you. You hang out with them, so you're not as bad as head guy. Yeah. That guy's worse than me, so I don't have a problem.
He makes you feel better, right? Exactly. That's one of the reasons why I think I decided to tackle this whole deal with NAREP as far as being so involved and being in the board, because one of the things that I gained as soon as I joined an organization like this was that I was sitting in a table where everyone was crushing it, and I don't have the opportunity to give myself an excuse not to do it.
Wow.
Exactly. You had to change your mindset at that point.
It was like I gotta adjust to this level and higher, or I can't be part of this crew.
Do or die.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's cool, man. I love that. So we're gonna take a quick commercial break. Don't forget you're on the Realty Ruckus. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hey everyone, this is David over at White Picket Realty, and I wanted to tell you about my friends over at Plans Express who can save you the headache of running your own permits. These guys are committed to offering a one-stop solution for all your plan and permit needs. They're proudly serving their friends and neighbors in the Houston surrounding areas, and they offer great service at an exceptional value. With dedicated professionals ready to serve, contact them today at 832-675-6217. Stop searching and start staying in the know with our Houston Real Estate Events page on Facebook. Follow us by searching at Houston Real Estate Events to stay up to date on the latest events for real estate in the Houston area. If you are interested in having your event on our page, please email me at david@whitepicketrealty.com. Again, that's david@whitepicketrealty.com. Non-paid events only. One more time, find us on Facebook at Houston Real Estate Events, and we'll see y'all at the next one. Hey everyone, this is David over at White Picket Realty, and I wanted to tell you about my friends over at Plans Express who can save you the headache of running your own permits. These guys are committed to offering a one-stop solution for all your plan and permit needs. They're proudly serving their friends and neighbors in the Houston surrounding areas, and they offer great service at an exceptional value. With dedicated professionals ready to serve, contact them today at 832-675-6217.
Stop. What do you love about White Picket?
I love that we work together as a team.
I love being professional while having fun.
I love the innovative approach we take every day.
I love the support we get to grow our business.
We love White Picket.
And I love empowering the next generation of realtors to live life by their own design. If you're looking to grow, come grow with us. Email join@teamwpr.com. Again, that's join@teamwpr.com.
And we are back on Realty Ruckus. Remember that you can live tweet us at Realty Ruckus. You can also find us live on Facebook and YouTube, where if you chat with us live during the show, we can answer your questions live on the air. Now, we were talking about how to get shit done, really. I mean, that was really the topic of the last conversation.
Yeah.
I want to go ahead and finish that out. I want to finish talking about getting shit done. And then I want to get into how to get your shit done legally. To make sure that it works.
That's a lot easier said than done.
Yeah, right? So we're going to jump into that after we talk about this. So let's just keep it going.
So we start by saying, hey, you have to stay cool. You have to stay optimistic. Do not stop moving just because things don't go right sometimes, which that's the case most of the time. They don't always go right.
Yeah.
Then it doesn't mean you stop. And if you stop and only focus on a problem, don't stop focusing on what the solution could be or the other things that you have going on. So keep moving at all times. Now the next tip is show up, and it's kind of a strange tip, because what does that actually mean to show up? What does it mean to someone who's actually out there?
Well, it kind of goes along with what we were saying before. Don't stop moving. And if you stop showing up to making your cold calls in the morning, writing your thank you notes, doing open houses, showing buyers homes, because something went wrong, then basically 90% of it is showing up, right? That's that's the saying.
Yeah.
So as long as you continue to show up, good things will happen to you.
Yeah. Yeah, but what I was also alluding to is, what if you're there? What if you're showing up, but you're not there?
Yeah.
Well, you might as well not even show up.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's there's the situation when you're you're there, you're at the open house, but you're not present.
Right.
You're not on the playing field. You're still sitting on the benches even though you're at the event.
Well, I think important mindset to have is that every situation, every new action could possibly cause the next ginormous deal for you.
Yeah.
So every call that you make, every networking event that you attend, every buyer that you meet, you have to approach it that this could be a big deal.
Yeah.
And if you really approach that and take a look at every opportunity and say what magic could happen out of this opportunity, you're going to find a lot more positive mindset and a lot more positive things happening in your business.
Yeah. Bibi, you study this a lot. What are you doing to be present? To be present in every aspect of the business?
Oh man, that's something I've always struggled with. I've always struggled with actually being present there because I'm always in my own head.
Yeah.
And so that's
many
something,
of us fall into this.
Yeah, I get stuck in my own head, and I catch myself, instead of listening to what someone's saying, I catch myself analyzing what someone's saying, which is not the same as listening to what they're saying.
Yeah.
And so that's something.
And this comes from
really
his
not.
personality. He's a very high C. He analyzes things.
Yeah. So as even as you guys are talking on the show, sometimes in my head I'm like, oh yeah, I agree with what he's saying. Oh no, hey, what he's saying is retarded. Like, why did he put that on the air?
I agree.
That's a terrible thing to say.
That's wrong.
Yeah. Oh no, he's wrong. He's definitely wrong.
Yeah.
And you really have to break through that and just hear what they have to say.
Yeah.
Right. And I know it sounds easy, but it's really not. It's a skill that you really have to focus on and commit yourself to, that I'm going to listen and not sit here and analyze or sit here and judge whatever somebody's saying, but I'm really going to listen to what they're saying.
It's hard to find a good listener. It really is.
It is.
And when people find a good listener, they will open their wallets to that person.
Absolutely. That's very true. A good listener creates a space where people feel comfortable saying anything it is that they want to say.
Okay, so but here's the thing, like, people think that this is like something that you're born with.
No, absolutely not.
All of a sudden you meet this wonderful listener. He must have just, come
must
out
have
of
been born
the
like
womb
that.
and just started listening really well. No, it's such a skill that you have to attain. It's
and you have to
something that
practice.
You have to practice.
Yeah, and I would say that's a big part of just getting things done is practice getting things done.
Yeah.
It's like an athlete. I mean, you would never go out on the court as an athlete and start playing without ever practicing.
Yeah.
So why do you run your own life like that?
Yeah.
You just go out there and you're trying to do life and you've gotten no practice at it, and then you say, "Oh man, that guy over there is so lucky. Opportunity always just knocks at his door." Well, the more you practice, the more lucky you get.
Yeah.
And when opportunity comes knocking, you have those skills available to you to make it happen.
The next portion of this, the next tip, and we have to wrap these up because we really got to get into some legal issues.
Yeah.
Is mindset, and I want to just make sure that everyone that's listening to us, and if you take anything from this show, it's mindset doesn't just come to you, and it's literally something that you have to search out, that you have to pay for, that you have to put time into reading, into going to seminars, into going to all sorts of training, and as that is being developed, it's incredible what happens in your business. It's incredible the people that you attract. It's incredible the success that you attract, and it's not you chasing success. It's success chasing you when you're working on yourself.
Would you say mindset is the aha moment?
I think so.
I think so too.
I think people's income is directly related to their philosophy.
I agree.
Yeah, you know what's interesting is that for the longest time I hated self-help books, and it's still there's still self-help books out there that don't resonate well with me.
There's some that you realize they read a lot of self-help books and then took some tips from all of them and threw them together.
Yeah, you're right.
But like I just finished one called The Compound Effect. Right, it was recommended to me, and it was a fantastic book because the entire book is all about mindset.
Who wrote that?
Is it Maxim Gladwell or?
Yeah, Maxim Gladwell. That's right. It's Compound Effect. Yeah,
I've seen it.
And it's so funny because throughout the whole book, he keeps talking about he's like, oh yeah, my mentor Jim Rohn, and Jim Rohn this and Jim Rohn that, and then you get to the end of the book and he's like, hey, you guys want to be associated with really, really famous people? And he's like, I bet that you're saying, yeah, it's an audiobook.
It's Darren Hardy.
Oh, Darren Hardy. Okay, sorry about that. Darren Hardy, The Compound Effect. It's fantastic. Yeah, no, absolutely. But what's most amazing is he's like, I've never actually met Jim Rohn. I've just studied every single thing about him, and I feel like I know him so well that he is my mentor. And I was like, wow, that's really, really impressive because you don't really have to know someone to really get their philosophy. You can just know so much about them and their philosophy that it makes sense for you.
Yeah.
And I used to be really against all the self-help books. Not against them, but they're not for me. I don't need that. And the more and more that I read them, the more and more my mindset changes.
Yeah.
And it makes a tremendous effect. It really does.
I can literally attribute growth processes or growth steps within the company to specific mental realizations that I've had. Just those aha moments that I'm like, oh man, I've really been doing this the wrong way or thinking about it the wrong way.
Yeah.
Boom, change it. Boom, I see an increase in how we work together, everything that
Well,
happens.
I'll give you an example because maybe it'll help people who are out there and they're trying to change their mindset, but they can't really understand what that means. It's all those little things that you don't see, that you don't know, right? And so, like, I was listening to that book, The Compound Effect, and one of the things he says is, anytime anything in your life goes wrong, you need to stop and say, where was I involved in that breakdown? Yeah. Because we're really quick to say, like, oh, Alan didn't do what this, and David sucks, and Ashley told me to do this, and I'll blame everyone around me. And it says, no, really take a moment and say, nobody else did anything wrong. What did I do wrong that caused this situation? Yeah.
Or what did I fail to do? What
action?
Right?
What action did I not? Because that's
what action did I not take?
Inaction is a thing that you're doing. You're choosing to take inaction, right? And so, and ever since I thought about that, man, so many things in my life have changed because I don't blame people anymore when things don't go the way I want them to. I look at where was my failure to act, or where was my action wrong, and then adjust from there and move forward. Mm-hmm. And it's a very, very different mindset. And that's all just from like one paragraph in that book that he said that opened up an entirely new world for me. Mm-hmm. And that's where reading those books is very important. Even if you don't agree with everything in them, they open up new ways to see the world around you.
We're getting a lot of thumbs up out there, guys. I'm glad this is resonating with you. We'll continue this conversation as well as we proceed with the show and with further episodes, because this is something that we could really go a long time on. I mean, this is something that can really impact your business, your everyday life, your overall happiness, your overall quality of life.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
In my opinion. But we do have to move on. We have to talk about something that is happening right now as we speak, where we're getting in trouble with HOAs as Airbnb owners. And so here's some of the things that are happening. Let's go ahead and move on to talk about some legal aspects.
Well, we get this question all the time. Yeah. And that's why I wanted to bring it to Ashley, because we talk about Airbnb on the show. Now when I go to a networking event, everyone's like, hey, BB, the Airbnb expert. Let me go ask you something.
It just so happens his name is BB, right?
Airbnb. It's like Airbnb. Didn't you know that? I got like 50% ownership in that. I wish. But seriously, a lot of people come up to me and they have like these high rises in the Galleria. Right. They have houses in really nice neighborhoods, and they're like, hey, I want to turn it into Airbnb. Mm-hmm. And they go, have you ever had any problems with it? And I say, well, yeah, I've been sued by HOAs before for having it as an Airbnb. And they go, oh, okay, well, that didn't sound that bad. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe on the show we need to talk about what it really looks like, so that people can understand what the whole legal process is like. Because I know it, but I'm not qualified to give legal advice. Right. There's only one person in this room that's qualified, and he's sitting right here.
We tried last episode too, by the way, and we were horrible at it.
First, we gave everyone a disclaimer that we weren't giving legal advice, and then we gave legal advice. Really poor legal advice. So we want to clean that mess up today.
Please, guys.
So tell us, Ashley. I have a condo in a really, really nice part of town. I decide to put it on Airbnb. The condo association comes back and says that's not allowed by our bylaws, and they go and they get a temporary restraining order. Right. So what happens? What does that really do?
First and foremost, why did they say it's not allowed to rent it out on Airbnb? Because there's a clause in most HOAs that says no commercial business shall be conducted on the premises.
Yes.
Now, when you are renting it out on a day-by-day basis, it's commercial activity.
Yes.
So it is all regulated, so the HOA has the right to put a temporary restraining order. It prevents you from doing that.
Yeah.
Now, the problem is once you get the temporary restraining order, if you do it, you could have the cops knock on your door and shut you down. I mean, there's nothing worse than having a tenant who is renting your place get kicked out of the property because they don't have a right to be there.
Yeah.
And that is what could happen. That's the extreme.
Wow.
I mean, you want to talk about a bad write-up is if the tenant comes in there, pays their money, and they get kicked out because of an HOA, you know?
Yeah.
And usually HOAs are members of a community, so they're over there, the nasty neighbor with binoculars looking at you to see who you are.
Yeah.
Exactly what it is.
I mean, so, neighbors are terrible sometimes. But the good thing about an HOA is it keeps our property values up. I mean, you can't have old trailers on the property. Now, Harris County has no zoning, which means that you can have commercial place next to a residential next to a trailer. To keep the trailer parks out, every community, master plan community, has an HOA. And if you're a property owner, you should probably go to an HOA meeting. If you don't go to an HOA meeting, you should go. If you should go, try to become an officer. I mean, I was HOA president when back in the day, which, granted, it's a selfless job. But anyway, getting back to the main question, once a temporary restraining order gets hit, you have to enforce it. You have to occupy it. Now, the next step is fees. Now, attorneys have left personal injury lawsuits and they're now into HOA litigation, which means that
so that's a new way of making the quick cash
absolutely
nowadays. Yeah.
Absolutely. Properties have no rights. You could charge a property whatever you want to, and the property can't complain over excessive taxation, excessive fees, excessive whatever, because properties have no rights. And so what happens is the HOA, to fight through HOA, you're going to end up getting accessed. And so in other words, basically the HOA is using your own money against you.
Yeah.
It's like fighting the government. I mean, you could spend $1,000 and the government would spend $100,000. The HOA is the same way.
And then at the end of the day, you owe the $100,000, right?
Absolutely, because when you lose, you will owe their HOA fees. Now, I don't have any proof of this, and I'm trying to find proof of this. I have never seen an HOA complain because the law firm charges one of their members too much money.
Yeah.
I think what's happening is the HOA, the law firms, are kicking the HOA back some money for the legal fees.
Yeah.
And that way, the HOA doesn't complain because they're making a fortune on these excessive fees, fines.
Yeah. And that actually makes sense because I've seen some HOA attorneys get really, really crazy with all the fees that they start charging legally. But let's say, okay, you're violating the restraining order that you got, and then the next step. The only reason I know this, guys, because we've been through all of this before.
Right.
Step 2 is now they're going to go out and they're going to try to get a temporary injunction against you,
right.
Which is an actual court lawsuit that they file. You get served.
Right.
So you've never been served, and you're doing it. Prepare to be served the first time in your life. It's not a very happy moment. You might shake a little bit. You might cry a little bit. It kind of sucks to get served, but then you'll get served.
Right. First they'll hit your cease and desist.
Okay.
Cease and desist letter, and then they'll go for the temporary restraining order or temporary injunction or the injunction. And what they would do is they would set a court appearance up, usually within a week, 48 hours, a week, however they get the court date, where you appear before court, and then they will allege the evidence against you and says, hey, on this date, you rented out, here's a copy of the article. Because trust me, if you put it on an Airbnb website, somebody will print that thing out and use it against you. Because if you're going to put it on Airbnb, you have to advertise your property.
Right.
Well, guess what? The HOA suing you has already got that printed out, and they're going to use that against you. So you can't say, nuh-uh. That's not a valid defense.
All right, so what is the defense? Is there a defense, or are you defenseless?
You're defenseless. Because if you're HOA, 99% of the HOA restrictions all prohibit commercial activity. And if you are singled out to be charged for that, you're going to lose. Because if you're subject to an HOA, now the only restriction is to get the HOA approval, which good luck in getting that.
It's going to be impossible. Yeah, they're fighting you for it because they don't want to approve it.
Right, because imagine if everybody in the neighborhood, you own the property, unless it's a rental, you don't want that property to be put in their Airbnb pool either, because guess what? Everybody you know will have that. Next thing you know is you'll have, spring break every week.
Yeah.
And it's a bad type of situation to be in. So I think Airbnb is something that's here today and may be gone tomorrow.
Never know.
Because all these cities are coming out against them.
Unless you're buying in a neighborhood without an HOA.
Without an HOA, right.
Well, and at that point, now the city restricts short-term rentals as well.
That's right.
So that's something the state of Texas, actually, Texas Property Code says 30 days or less is considered commercial activity.
That's right.
So
That's right.
so it's got to be at least 30 days. Is that something that you think the state will actually come down on? Like the state themselves will start coming down on it through the city and counties?
The state's going to be forced to, because they're losing so much revenue, because they get 16 to 32% taxes based on every hotel rental in the city. Now the city makes that money, not the state, the city. So the city's basically going to have to find other revenue sources. So it would be stupid for the city not to come out one day and says, hey, look at all this money going out the back door.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, that's really good. We've got to jump to a quick commercial break. So anyone out there that's thinking about Airbnb, you got some good information there. You got a lot to think about. And if you're thinking about it, hit it before it's gone is what is pretty much the message that you're getting today. Exactly. We'll be back on Realty Ruckus right after these breaks.
Stay tuned.
Hey everyone, this is David over at White Picket Realty, and I wanted to tell you about my friends over at Plans Express who can save you the headache of running your own permits. These guys are committed to offering a one-stop solution for all your plan and permit needs. They're proudly serving their friends and neighbors in the Houston surrounding areas, and they offer great service at an exceptional value. With dedicated professionals ready to serve, contact them today at 832-675-6217.
Hey Houston, this is Alan Hernandez, and I want to remind you guys to visit our friends over at Quest IRA to learn everything there is to learn about investing with your IRA. Now, if you haven't been over there recently, you have to check them out. They have free educational classes, networking opportunities, the ability to tap into $1 billion for your real estate investing deals. These are the guys to know when it comes to learning about this kind of stuff. You want to make sure you visit them and check them out over at www.questira.com. Again, that's questira.com.
Stop searching and start staying in the know with our Houston Real Estate Events page on Facebook. Follow us by searching at Houston Real Estate Events to stay up to date on the latest events for real estate in the Houston area. If you are interested in having your event on our page, please email me at david@whitepicketrealty.com. Again, that's david@whitepicketrealty.com. Non-paid events only. One more time, find us on Facebook at Houston Real Estate Events, and we'll see y'all at the next one.
What do you love about White Picket?
I love that we work together as a team.
I love being professional while having fun.
I love the innovative approach we take every day.
I love the support we get to grow our business.
We love White Picket.
And I love empowering the next generation of realtors to live life by their own design. If you're looking to grow, come grow with us. Email join@teamwpr.com. Again, that's join@teamwpr.com.
And we are back on Realty Ruckus. Remember that you can live tweet us at Realty Ruckus. You can also find us live on Facebook and YouTube. Here we chat with us live during the show. We can answer your questions live on the air. Now we have a special treat for you guys today. Ashley Patten wasn't here last week, and he's been laying down legal advice on us. Much better legal advice than we did not provide last week, because we didn't provide legal advice. We just talked about what happens in our lives legally.
Yeah.
And you can use it how you want to. But today you have real legal advice from a real attorney, a real estate attorney here in Houston. And we want to go ahead and jump into, so we were just talking about the HOAs and all of their restrictions. And really, this applies to everything. Even if you're not Airbnb, even if it is all that trash that you have on the side of your house, eventually they can get a temporary restraining order to get all that trash removed and charge you all those things. So basically, HOAs have you by the cojones, if you know what I mean. So the message there is, don't try to fight the HOA. It's like fighting the government.
Right.
There is no winners. There's only losers, and that loser is going to be you. Is that pretty straight?
That's correct. And I just wanted to add that we were talking about this during the break. Now if the HOA just says thou shall not do something, their limitations pretty much are getting attorney's fees, because they can't get a fee. Now, if your HOA restrictions are set out to where there's an actual HOA and they have set forth delineations of fines, like $50 per day infraction, they can charge those fees, and those fees can get expensive. Some of them go as high as $250 a day.
Oh, wow.
$250 a day infraction, et cetera. So, in a situation like you get the injunction, and so what, you take it down, you keep violating it. I mean, their choice is to either A, go forward with the eviction, or B, hit you with a mount load of fees. Go
forward with the eviction how? So the eviction of the tenants that are there?
No, eviction of the homeowner.
The eviction of the homeowner.
Because you're violating their restrictions. The HOA has the right to actually put you in violation of the HOA and then go after your property. Now, they would still be subject to the first lien. They would still be subject to the taxes. But they can get the property from you, and they would step in line of your subordination. Like a lot of these HOA, a lot of these high rises, they do that all the time. They're constantly evicting on homeowners.
So the homeowner gets booted out. Now the HOA has to make the payments for the liens, and they become responsible. And then what happens if the HOA gets foreclosed on?
Well, and then the first deed of trust, they just want to be paid.
Yeah.
And so normally what happens, the HOA forecloses, and then they sell the property. Or a lot of times, if they're requiring such like 20%, 30% down in some of these HOA rises, what happens is the maintenance fees, they foreclose on a property, and they're paid off at the foreclosure sale. And somebody steps in, and then a new homeowner comes in there and then says, "Hey, I bought the property in a foreclosure sale." Contact the deed of trust holder and says, "Hey, I'm the new owner." And at that time, the mortgage company can either say, "Hey, I'm not going to accept you, and I'm not going to accept your payments. I'll foreclose on you," or B, they'll work something out of saying, "Hey, make the payments here, and I may not modify your mortgage, but I'm not going to foreclose on you either." Then after a little while, if they don't foreclose, then there's a concept called waiver.
So when you buy from the foreclosure HOA, just so I can get this clear, you're buying from the HOA auction, the foreclosure from the HOA foreclosure.
There is no per se HOA auction, but yes, you buy it the first Tuesday of the month at the courthouse.
Okay, but the other liens are still in place.
Absolutely.
So you're buying the other liens.
You're buying subject to the other liens.
Mm-hmm.
And so you will be behind them. So in other words, if you foreclose on an HOA lien, you pay $7,000 back HOA dues, and there's $300,000 first mortgage, that $300,000 mortgage remains. And if you don't pay the mortgage, they will foreclose on you. You'll end up with nothing.
That's interesting because it kind of turns on a light bulb for me. So you're telling me I can go buy properties subject to existing mortgages,
Absolutely.
As long as I'm buying from an HOA foreclosure,
or second lien deed of trust.
Yeah.
And there's also constables execute on the writ of judgment.
But they don't have to, okay, wait. I want to talk about the constable writ in a second, but to just finish this thought off. So what you're saying is that the first mortgage holder doesn't have to allow you to make the payments. That's a choice that they can make, or they can foreclose on you.
Absolutely.
They can call the note, basically.
Absolutely.
Is what you're saying.
Do on sale clause.
But usually they don't call. Would they call the note more likely in that situation?
Well,
or no?
put it this way: they will call the note when number one, payments aren't being made, or number two, the cost of funds get expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, a lender can borrow money on less than 2 cents of a dollar. 0.2%. Now, if they're lending the money out for 4.5%, 5%, they don't care.
Yeah. Right.
But when their cost of money comes into 4 or 5%, if you have a subject to and the existing mortgage is 4.5%,
it's not in their favor anymore.
It's not in their favor. Expect the notes to be called.
Gotcha.
And once the property is sold, there's no reversion of the due on sale clause. It's not like if you fall behind on payments and you get caught up, you're okay. Not so with the sale of property.
Got it.
Well, that's really interesting, man. You just said, like Alan said, a million light bulbs went off in my head. I got a million.
Hopefully, you guys got some ideas from that too.
Yeah. I guess we'll see you guys at the auction.
Aha moments there.
I just had a major aha moment.
You guys can do some cool stuff with that knowledge
Ashley
right there.
totally blew my mind. Now, I want to blow everyone else's mind by showing you how right me and Alan were last week with our legal advice.
Okay,
so we want to frame.
Not give legal advice. You did not give legal advice.
With our talk that we had about our legal problems,
here's
and if
the deal.
you took advice from that, you did it on your own free will.
Yeah, exactly.
But we're going to confirm it right now.
We let you know.
So long story short, we have a seller who is now trying to sell their house. And upon relisting it, we realized that when she bought it about a year ago, she bought it assuming that the house was 100 square feet more. Now, the place is only 900 square feet.
Okay.
Right? And it's a $300 square foot townhome or condo. So the 100 square feet that it was off due to the listing agent listing it at that higher square footage actually adds up to approximately $30,000 in potential value. That's $30,000 that she can't get right now because she's having to resell it at a lower price per square foot because it was smaller to begin with.
Yeah. Who discovered about the discrepancy in square footage?
We did, as we relisted the property.
Okay.
We realized that the previous agent that sold it to her, right,
Had it listed
had
larger.
it listed for larger. We called the owner. We called the. It's a condo in the Galleria. We called to find out what the floor plan had, and they confirmed it was 100 square feet smaller.
See, I tell listing agents all the time that hey, your duty is not to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, like if the other side tries to send you an inspection, don't open it up, delete it, send it back, and say, hey, I don't want to look at it because if you go with what's on the appraisal value, you have followed your duty ethically.
The appraisal district has it at the original square footage.
Right, the higher square footage.
No, the lower one.
The lower.
Yeah. So it was
so the
it was an
manipulated
obvious
it.
mistake or manipulation.
Oh,
of the previous
it was manipulation. I mean,
we said that on the show last time. You had to have been drunk to have put in that wrong.
Well, I mean, or incredibly dishonest.
Or dishonest, yes.
I mean, it's just
those are the two choices.
You know, and obviously a $30,000 discrepancy when the appraisal district shows this. If you show the appraisal district says it's 1,000 feet, and then you come in and you present 1,100 square feet, you better be able to back that additional 100 square feet with an actual appraisal.
Yeah.
If you don't have that, you committed fraud.
Yeah.
Now remember, seller's disclosure. You disclose the property. Are you aware of any abnormal addition or any shortage additions?
Yeah.
I mean, all that's out there. If you're selling a property that is 1,000 square feet and it's 900 square feet and it's a $30,000 difference, expect to be sued for $30,000 a year later, 2 years later, 10 years down the road.
So she can go back to that previous seller and sue the seller.
Go back to the previous
What
seller.
about the previous agent? Can they go after the E&O
File an
insurance?
E&O claim. File an E&O claim because to me, that is the ultimate claim because you know something?
I wish there was like a little sparkle animation.
Yeah, I know. Where's my sparkle animation?
Guys, 'cause that's pretty
Let's
much
get
what
some
we said.
hearts, guys.
I know.
So,
Our
That's exactly what we
I
said.
get to hang out with
Right.
Ashley so much that I feel like I can talk about legal
Well, you're
stuff.
bathing in his glory.
That's
You're
right.
bathing my glory.
I gotta keep bathing with
Look
Ashley.
at that, we're getting a bunch of hearts. Thanks, guys. Thank you, guys. We appreciate that. Now, all right, so now we're helping her file a TREC complaint.
Okay.
Right? And
So is that a good step to file a TREC complaint?
That's the number one step because a lot of times, because the agent's got to, at that time, the agent's got to muster their evidence.
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing. Now, if they have a copy of an appraisal and the appraisal was done wrong, I mean, then the agent can rely on that. And then you sue the appraiser.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, you always have someone to sue.
Now, I got a question for you. I'm going to take it one step deeper now, and this is something we didn't talk about on the last one.
Right.
Let's say that because this actually happened to us, and let's say you finally say, "F it, I got to get this thing closed. I've only got 30 days to get it closed," and you sell it. Is there a statute of limitation for you to go back to the original seller and say, "I had to take a $10,000 or $15,000 or $20,000 hit"?
You have 4 years from the time you find out about it. Now, remember, the discovery rule is there to prevent fraud. So if you don't know about the fraud,
Like this agent's about to
just
get
made-
it over
we
here.
just made some money.
So I was like,
made some money. I got it.
Right.
About to bring down the hammer on that person.
I mean, you know what I mean? The whole thing about it, though, is the appraisal district shows it 100 square feet less.
Yeah.
And they go out there and advertise it at 100 feet more. So you see there's more hearts coming over.
Yeah.
I like that. And they're averaging another 100 feet. I mean, she or he, the agent has got to justify why they're disclosing an extra 100 feet.
Yeah.
They can't lend a blind eye and says, "Oh, I didn't know what I was doing."
What happens if
Sorry,
they say,
typo."
"I made a mistake"?
Well, guess
That's
what?
E&O
That mistake
insurance.
costs them money.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the reason why they're playing a big boy game.
Yeah.
Remember, if you're a professional, you have to behave in a professional manner.
That's true.
And an agent can't turn around and lend a blind eye and says, "Hey, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't see the number. I didn't plug it in. My assistant plugged it in.
I bet
My
that gets used a lot.
secretary plugged it in. Oh, they use it all the time." But guess what? You are a real estate professional.
Yeah.
Act in a professional manner.
Yeah, absolutely. So you say you have 4 years from the date of discovery. So the date
4
that
years.
you realize that was, even if you sold the property, you can
That's
still
correct.
go back and collect on what you feel that you were cheated out of, basically.
Well, remember, it depends on if you were damaged. In order to win a lawsuit, you have to also be paid by lawsuit.
The
which
appraisal
damages.
came in low on the property that we had,
And that's your
and
damage.
because the square
we
footage
had
was
a
lower.
price, so we had a
Right.
price that we sold it at, but we had to sell it for less due to the
The price per square foot, we lost like 15 grand in
Yeah,
value.
You have to document the $15,000 of loss. Remember, if it's $30,000 in losses because based on $300 square feet, I mean, maybe you wouldn't have had a buyer for that amount anyway. Maybe you had to discount it because of the cracked driveway or something like that. But
Yeah.
whenever you sue for breach of contract, you have to either sue for A, reliance damages of what you could have made, but
Yeah.
you didn't make, or B, the actual damages you lost.
Yeah.
Which in this case, you can show that, hey, you lost $10,000, $20,000, or if you lost the full $30,000, that's all actual, but you have to be able to build the damage model into
Yeah.
the lawsuit.
How strict? And let me ask this: that's not something you want to go to small claims court for.
Well,
it's
small
too big.
claims court is limited to $10,000.
Okay, so if you
So-
wanted to just get your 10 grand, and you could call the rest of it a
Small
day.
claims court. Go small
Okay.
claims court. You don't need an attorney. Go there. And,
Because you're going to spend probably another 10 grand in attorney fees.
well, yeah, to get that. Well, remember, breach contract, as long as you're pleading breach of contract, not fraud. Fraud is an equitable damage, but breach of contract, you could also be awarded on top of your attorney's fees. But the problem with that is collecting. If you're suing an individual, it's hard to collect. You can't go after their homestead. You can't go after 401k.
But so who are you going? Who are you going? E&O insurance.
E&O insurance, I would do it all day long because E&O insurance, they have money. I mean, most agents carry a $500,000, $300,000, $1 million policy, and you know something like that, I'd go after the full $30,000 plus legal fees because an E&O company will pay.
So who are you going after though? I don't think I may not be clear on that. You may have made it clear. But I'm confused whether you're going after their previous homeowner or you're going after the agent who misrepresented the property.
You go after everybody. Quite frankly.
Write that in the book. Write that in the book. I mean, you go after everybody.
You bring a big shotgun, a BFG, a big effing gun, right? Yes. And you go after anybody and everybody. So you're suing the former seller, you're suing the agent, you're suing the agent's broker.
Yeah.
You're suing the agent's broker's insurance company. You're suing the appraisal. I mean, if the appraisal did that, you're suing everybody.
Yeah.
And sometimes, unfortunately, you just got to do it with the shotgun effect, and then you let them get themselves out of a lawsuit. But you always want more in because a lot of people will settle for harassment value.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Hey, so here's a question. Are there attorneys out there that will take these cases on a contingency? Because if so, we have a couple of them. Do you know anybody?
I hate attorneys. I am an attorney, and I hate attorneys. The only attorneys I really know are the ones that sued me, and I would never recommend them on the air.
Yeah. So if you guys know somebody, connect us. We want to be connected to them. We have a couple cases that we can send your way, especially this client that we have, and even the one that Jabron and I have gone through. We want to get to know you. We want to figure out how we can work together on this. We have to take a quick commercial break. Don't forget you're on the Realty Ruckus. We'll be right back.
Hey everyone, this is David over at White Picket Realty, and I wanted to tell you about my friends over at Plans Express who can save you the headache of running your own permits. These guys are committed to offering a one-stop solution for all your plan and permit needs. They're proudly serving their friends and neighbors in the Houston surrounding areas, and they offer great service at an exceptional value. With dedicated professionals ready to serve, contact them today at 832-675-6217.
Hey Houston, this is Alan Hernandez, and I want to remind you guys to visit our friends over at Quest IRA to learn everything there is to learn about investing with your IRA. Now, if you haven't been over there recently, you have to check them out. They have free educational classes, networking opportunities, the ability to tap into $1 billion for your real estate investing deals. These are the guys to know when it comes to learning about this kind of stuff. You want to make sure you visit them and check them out over at www.questira.com. Again, that's questira.com.
Stop searching and start staying in the know with our Houston Real Estate Events page on Facebook. Follow us by searching at Houston Real Estate Events to stay up to date on the latest events for real estate in the Houston area. If you're interested in having your event on our page, please email me at david@whitepicketrealty.com. Again, that's david@whitepicketrealty.com. Non-paid events only. One more time, find us on Facebook at Houston Real Estate Events, and we'll see y'all at the next one.
What do you love about White Picket?
I love that we work together as a team.
I love being professional while having fun.
I love the innovative approach we take every day.
I love the support we get to grow our business.
We love White Picket.
And I love empowering the next generation of realtors to live life by their own design. If you're looking to grow, come grow with us. Email join@teamwpr.com. Again, that's join@teamwpr.com.
And we are back on Realty Ruckus. Remember that you can live tweet us at Realty Ruckus. You can also find us live on Facebook and YouTube, where if you chat with us live during the show, we can what?
You're multitasking over there.
Oh my goodness. We can answer your questions live on the air. That hasn't happened to me. That hasn't happened since like episode 7 to me. It's just my mind is so blown right now with all the great legal information that we've gotten. And during the break, we got a question from one of our agents here at the office, and she said she wanted to throw out a zinger out there, and she said, hey, what if the previous seller, because you said get anyone that you can in on that lawsuit, she said, what if the previous seller is HUD?
Yeah.
I would keep HUD out of the deal because, number one, you could end up with HUD financing everybody. Everybody's going to follow HUD's legal defense, and so you don't want a situation like that because kind of like with the HOA, Sue the federal government, it's a lessening futility unless you have a good case. Number one, they have immunity.
Yeah.
And number two, they have a heck of a lot more money than you or your client.
I mean, essentially, they have unlimited, right?
Unlimited. I mean, when's the last time you see the government go bankrupt? I mean, they always print more.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe our credit goes down to a B or C or D or
whatever.
Whatever. The government's still like, hey, no problem. It was Obama cashing. Now it's Trump. Hey, just ordered another $30 million from Denver Mint.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, yeah, yeah, that's really important.
Yeah, so to answer that question, don't go into HUD.
Yeah, leave them out.
Don't be that smart. All right, so cool. Let's move on. We have to finish off that topic, and we're actually coming into the end of the show here, guys. I can't believe how fast this time has gone.
Yeah, and today was I said it in the comments or in the description. I said this is going to be one of the best shows we've ever had because there's going to be so much great legal advice, and I think we delivered.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And here's the thing, this is information that's not readily available for people out there.
No, I dare you. I dare you to go online and type in legal advice for Airbnb, and all you're going to find is a bunch of forums with a bunch of jackasses talking, everyone giving you a different advice and direction.
It's true. And the other thing is, I actually had somebody ask me, why do you guys do that? Like, what's the point of it? And I think what they were referring to is actually bringing on an attorney and talk to you guys about this.
We're getting a lot of love right now.
You want to know why we bring on an attorney to the show? One, because we want to bring you amazing value.
Well, it's not just that. What I was going to say, it's the people that are out there, if they're not playing this game big enough, they just haven't run into these situations.
Right.
But once they start doing it, once you play the game just a little bit larger, boom, you get into these situations, and who better than to have an actual attorney answer these questions for you. So thank you guys for joining us on that. Now we want to move on to a different topic.
This is going to be a new quick segment that we're going to do towards the end of the show, and we're going to call it Alan's top tip of the day.
Yeah. So these guys asked me to give you guys the tip. So I decided to.
Try it over.
No, bro. We want your tip of the day. We want some advice.
Okay. I'm sorry. I thought something completely differently. I don't know what I was thinking.
Come back from Vegas now.
So today's tip are high return promotional ideas that clients will love.
Yeah.
David, you put a great list together on this. I want to go over the list because I know that you did a lot of research for this. But I also want to give you guys some of the stuff that I'm doing in my personal business. And
y'all have done some cool stuff lately.
What I see are agents who are finding some phenomenal success in doing these things and not having to spend a lot of money, but getting a huge return on the investment. Yeah. So let's go through this list real quick, and then I'll tell you guys some of the other stuff that's working for us.
Well, here's two of the ones that I thought were really cool. They're a little bit more of a high dollar item, but it's something that people are actually going to keep around for a long time with your logo on it and prominently displayed for other people. Yeah. One of them is the branded lawn chairs like you use at a tailgate.
Oh, yeah.
Put your branded logo on the back. I mean, I use those all the time, and to have our logo out there at tailgates, at the beach.
Well, think about it. Sometimes, I mean, people go out to like the Miller Outdoor and take those lawn chairs. You're in front of like 20,000 people out there.
Dude, just go out for a show and start handing them out for free one day.
Yeah.
I mean,
what do these cost,
you
think?
Oh, I'm not sure.
I want to say they're probably going to run between $15 and $25 each.
Yeah.
So it's one of those items that you're not going to want to give it out to every single person. But if you have a client who just closed a deal with you and you made $5,000 to $10,000,
what if it's a really high end client? What if you just made $10,000? Can you afford $25 to $30? What if it's $100? Would you pay it? I would.
It depends.
Yeah,
on the item,
and if the house has a beautiful pool and it goes along with what you're doing, absolutely.
So let's look at some other ones though, because that one's a little bit expensive. I'll give it that much. Some people may not be able to justify that cost. So what's another one?
Let me just say something about justifying costs for your clients. All right. First off, if you're closing a transaction, you better be buying them a gift. Like, that's part of what you should be doing on every single transaction. It's a way for you to thank them for their business. First of all. Second of all, it buys you referrals.
Yes.
I mean, and if you're missing out on that, then you're approximately missing out on 35% of any real estate professional's business. Referrals mean a huge chunk of your business.
All right, so, you got 1 minute left. Before we got to jump into the events.
Okay, so go ahead.
Okay, I'll come up with two more right here. So branded pint glasses. Who doesn't love a nice beer glass with a logo on it?
Yeah.
For your,
It's got to be pint or can be quart glasses.
No, pints.
Okay.
Yeah. Quarts.
Quart
glasses.
You're taking it to the next level.
Go big or go home, man.
Right, exactly. Hey, I like Brandon.
So
Brandon's got patent law
you
firm
guys
cup.
can see the cuts that patent law firm has brought us.
I love that.
We use them every day.
Yeah,
we do.
They're,
I love
they're
that.
you guys are branded in our office over here.
Well, here's one that might not take a lot of money. Some agents are giving out smart home gift certificates. So they go to different vendors, different smart home items, get a discount on them, and they give that to their clients.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's something that if you're just getting started and you're broke, that's something that you can definitely do.
Yeah.
I mean, you can go out and get coupons for people, and people do appreciate it.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
the greatest gift I've seen come is an agent brought a welcome home mat to the closing.
Yeah,
yeah.
my wife, she did that as a customized one. You can get it customized, and you can have the last name on there.
So there's a difference, so that our viewers can understand. There's a difference in between closing gifts and then something that you want to contribute to your clients, and you want to have a client list of maybe your top 30 to 100 people.
Yeah.
Your top referral sources, the top people that you've closed a transaction with that have loved your service and are going to be willing to refer you. Those are people that still should continue to get these gifts from you. And you don't have to go out and spend a bunch of money, right?
Yeah.
So some of the things that have worked for us are literally things that are handmade. So for example, in December, one of the things that we do is because everybody in December in our culture make tamales. So we ordered tamales. We ordered a half a dozen of tamales for our top 30 to 50 clients.
Yeah.
We asked them to come pick them up and
Or some of them were delivered.
Some of
Actually,
the people
pick them
that
up even better though, because they have to come to your office and they remember you.
I love the picking up idea.
I love the idea.
But if we had like a top client that couldn't come out, hey, we just sent someone to deliver them, and you wouldn't believe how many referrals we got.
Wow.
Hell yeah, man. Tamales work.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, I bought 6 dozen tamales yesterday. A lady came to our office and I bought 6 dozen for the whole staff.
But I mean, those are homemade ideas that don't cost you a lot of money that you
love
can
it.
really get a huge return on.
We got to jump into the events.
I know.
Yeah, we're out of time
I wish
here.
I could tell you guys more on the tip, but next time we'll cover some more of these.
Hey,
You'll get even more tip on the next episode.
We got a ton of smiley faces. I mean,
well, yeah. Before I go to the events, quick shout out to one of my best friends, Martin. He's the one showing us all the love. He texted me. He's like, "Hey, I see you live, and I just figured out how to do emojis." So,
welcome to social media.
Yeah, welcome to social media, Martin.
when you start talking, you just got like a smiley face. I mean, a frowny face rather. So,
oh no, damn it!
I hope it's not Martin over there.
All right, events real quick. On the 11th, we have 2 events in the morning: basics and breakfast. Hosted by Noble Mortgage. They're going to be doing a little educational event and providing some breakfast to all those that attend. And then in the evening is the big one, White Picket and Jet Lending Real Estate Happy Hour at St. Arnold's Brewery. Free beer, free food, great networking. There's going to be over 300 real estate professionals there, so do not miss that one.
This thing keeps growing every single time. I will tell you guys something. We're actually worried that we may reach capacity.
Nice.
We were only 50 people away from capacity last time.
So make sure that you guys get your tickets to that.
Oh, I want to make it a goal this time. I want so many of you out there to show up that we reach capacity, and St. Arnold's has to say, "Hey, you got too many people
How
here."
awesome would that be?
I want that.
How
I want
awesome would that be?
Yeah.
I'll be able to make this one because physically I haven't been able to stay out past 9 o'clock, but now my
good.
doctor finally cleared me this week.
Oh, nice,
So,
man! Congrats.
I broke 9 vertebrae. For those people who don't know, I broke 9 vertebrae, 10 ribs, and a leg back in December.
And somehow he's
somehow
still
he's here.
walking.
Wolverine, everybody.
He's Wolverine.
No joke, man.
Yeah. So doctor cleared me yesterday to go out there and be more social and actually walk some. So
There
it's
you go.
it's a beautiful
So
thing.
we'll see you
Yes,
April 11th.
I'll be there.
Make sure you guys get your tickets. Is there any other events that we
Just
have to cover?
one more before we get off the air. On the 20th from 11 to 1, we're going to be doing the power of social media marketing, showing realtors how to run their first Facebook ads, take the scariness out of that. That
And it's not
world of
just
Facebook.
running an ad because anyone can go on there and click promote. It's running an ad the right way.
A good targeted ad.
Yes.
Yeah, so everyone will be able to leave with a targeted ad ready to collect more leads.
Exactly.
How awesome is that? When is that again?
April 20th, 11 to 1, Allied Home Warranty Office.
April 20th. Now, you can find all of these events at our page, which is Houston Real Estate Events.
Houston Real Estate
on
Events.
Facebook. Make sure that you guys go in there and click hit on the page. Make sure you click hit for White Picket Realty so you guys know when we have upcoming shows. Thank you guys for joining us today at the Realty Ruckus right out of the White Picket Realty Studios. It has been a blast to hang out with you guys. We can't wait to see you guys next time. We're going to be on next week, Tuesday, Thursday from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Right?
That's
Thank
right.
you guys again. Don't forget to keep up your ruckus and have a great day.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
guys.
This has been the Realty Ruckus. Make sure and join us every Tuesday and Friday for new episodes. Find us on YouTube and Facebook for replays of previous episodes. And as always, keep elevating yourself and keep up your ruckus. Thanks for listening. Realty Ruckus has been brought to you by Smart Pig Media Productions.